I've been doing this research in Starbucks recently. It all started in Batley. I went into Borders to look at my book because I've written a best-selling book called Life's a Game, So Fix the Odds, or How to Be More Persuasive and Influential, available for £10 in the foyer afterwards. ABC, always be selling. So I went to look at my book. It's in Borders, and in Borders is a Starbucks. So I went up to Starbucks, and I said, I'm on my own. It's 10:30 in the morning. I said, cafe latte, please. She says, medium, medium, please. She says, would you like something with that? I said, are you trained to do that? She said, yeah. Are you a mystery shopper? I said, no. I said, do you get mystery shoppers? Oh, she says, you get mystery shoppers all the time. I said, so how many people buy something they didn't plan to buy just because you say, would you like something with that? I've now done 33 Starbucks, Cafe Neros, all those places, and apart from one unfortunate incident in Milton Keynes, everybody has told me roughly the same percentage. Just run this through your mind. What percentage of people buy something to eat that they didn't plan to buy just because somebody says, would you like something with that? She said, over 50%. I said, over 50%? What percentage? I'd say 60% of people buy something just because I say, would you like something with that? Wow, I said. She says, but I have to do that. I said, what? She says, that. I says, why? She says, if they say coffee and I say, would you like something with that? They say, no thanks. But if I go, would you like something with that? They go, yeah. And they eat. Isn't that amazing? So do you know what it costs? The premium to go from economy to business class is £4,000. That's not to get there, that's the premium to upgrade, £4,000 for two people. And what do you get? Do you get there quicker? If you crash, you die a tad quicker, but you don't get there quicker, do you? Now you might think, oh, you get extra width in the seat, and you do. And I've measured it. I've been on Singapore Airlines, and I've been on New Zealand Airlines, and I've taken my tape measure, and I've measured the two seats. 4 inches, that's what you get. £4,000 for 4 inches. It's £1,000 an inch. What other walk of life do you pay £1,000 to get an extra inch? It's crazy, isn't it? Do you know what you really get? You get to be made to feel important because they put a priority sticker on your baggage. Because it's nice. Because nice is expensive, and expensive is nice. So I'm in Auckland, flying out to Gisborne, and I'm on a 12-seater plane. I'm working with this client, and on the way back, there's 4 people from the client, the big cheese from the client, me and a few other people on this small plane. And I'm chatting to the stewardess. I do this for a living. I talk about persuasion and influence. And I ask people, how do you do that? You know, tell me about that. I just ask, and all I get is stories all the time, just the truth. So I said to this stewardess, why do people go business class? She says they like the feeling of importance. They like being announced. Business class can board at your leisure. I said, I'm on seat A1 today. I'm a business class. She said, no, it's economy. There's only 12 seats, you pillock. So I said, well, can you announce me then? She says, yeah, sure. So I went and sat with the client. We're having a coffee, and then they said, we are now boarding flight AZL1432 Auckland. Would Mr. Philip Hesketh like to take his seat, followed by all the other passengers? So those people like it. Anyway, so we got home, and Seb says, Dad, can I get involved in looking at this car as well? Because it's sort of my car too, isn't it? You know, now, he's a nice boy from a nice family, so I said, yeah, sure. So we went to a few dealerships. On the way to the Volkswagen Polo dealer, I said, do you like Volkswagen Polo, Seb? He said, yeah, sure. I said, right, before we go, you've got to really want another car, Seb. I said, why? He said, why is that? I said, because it's a negotiating ploy. If you're the only show in town, you can't negotiate. I want you to want another car. Ooh, Dad, right. So I said, which car? He said, the Renault Clio. I said, what do you like about the Renault Clio? He said, why do I need to know the detail? I said, because if she's been on a course and you say you prefer the Clio, she'll say, what do you like about the Clio? Ooh, he says, there's a lot to it, isn't there? I said, oh, yes. Oh, yes. Watch and learn, boy. So he's 17, yeah? He's 17, and he walks into the Volkswagen Polo dealer. And Lorna, who's very well put together and 23 years old, says, oh, hello, Mr. Hesketh. She remembered my name. Isn't that nice? She remembered my name. She says, this must be your son. I said, yeah, this is Seb. And she said, hello, Mr. Hesketh. And he went, hello. Can you remember, guys, when you were 17? The idea of having a girlfriend who was 18, older than you, is like cool as hell, isn't it? The idea of having a girlfriend who's at university is as cool as can be. But the idea of having a girlfriend who's 23, it's just unobtainable, isn't it? But he's trying his best, you know. So I said, would you like to look at the Polo? Yeah, sure. So he sat in the Polo. And she said, would you like a test drive? Who's got the money? You don't know. She said, would you like a test drive? He says, yes, I brought my L plates. I'll never forget the moment when she said, I'm sorry, we don't do learners. It was like, oh no. So I said, tell you what, Lorna, why don't you take him out? I'll read the Sunday papers, because my wife and I have been on the Saturdays this Sunday. Okay, fine. So off they went. They were away for quite a while. So she came back, and we got sat in the car again. And he's sat here, and I'm stood there. She's established what my wife's emotional need is. She's established what my emotional need is. And she said to Seb, now she hasn't been on a course for this. She just undid one button. She says, tell me, Seb, what are you interested in? Do you know what he said? He said, has it got alloy wheels? She says, I don't know, let's go and see. Does she know whether or not this car's got alloy wheels? Of course she does. So she comes around, no it hasn't, but guess what? They're available at extra cost. 17 alloy wheels. We spent longer looking at alloy wheels than we did looking at the car. One of the interesting things about choice is that if you have a choice of 17 items, you will sell more if you only have a choice of 7. Fact, if there's no salesperson. Because when you choose from 17 items, the way your brain is wired, you have to make 16 decisions. It's just how it is. And 16's a lot, and sometimes it can overface you. But when you're 17, you like alloy wheels, and you like Lorna, so we choose these alloy wheels. And then she went one better. She said, what else are you interested in, Seb? What matters most to you? And he said, has it got a CD player? She said, oh, I don't know, let's go and see. Does she know whether or not this car's got a CD? Of course she does. You see, what the psychology of persuasion is all about, it's about two things. First of all, this here is what you pay when you buy anything. And this here is what you get. So if you spend £20 on a watch, it tells the time. Is a watch at £40 twice as efficient? No. Is a hotel 6 times better when you say no? Is business class 5 times better? No, it's just nicer. As you pay more, you get less. You get less in logical, tangible benefit, and you get more in illogical, intangible, emotional benefit. That's why people buy bottled water. If my granddad came back, he'd say, what was all that about, Philip? How bottled water? I was working in Dublin recently, and there was this bottled water there, and it says, this Mountains of Mourne water has been trickling through the streams and tributaries of the Mountains of Mourne for over 5,000 years, trickling its way, la, 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 la. Then it says, best by November 2007. What's that about, you know? You see what's happening? Do you get that this has got nothing to do with buying a car, this story? What it's all to do with is the psychology of persuasion. There's people that you sell to have the ability to buy and the ability to influence. In the event, I've got the money, I'm here, but I don't want to influence the decision. And often the managing director, CEO, and FD doesn't want to influence the decision. My wife can buy. Basically, if I earn money, it's ours. If she earns money, it's hers. Works that way. And Seb's here. The interesting thing, he's got no money, but he's got all the influence. He's got the power of veto. Would you agree? He can veto the decision. And so often in life, this is how learning works. Learning works by connecting known information with unknown information. That's how it works. That's the psychology of persuasion. So if you want to know what actually happened subsequently in the negotiation on the Volkswagen Polo story, it's all available in my book called Life's a Game, So Fix the Odds, or How to Be More Persuasive and Influential. So what's this little rant been about? It's been a taster of what the psychology of persuasion is about. 95% of your thoughts are subconscious. You don't know what you're doing. You buy emotionally and justify logically. It's how it is. So I launched my book in New Zealand, and it's called Life's a Game, So Fix the Odds. Available for £10. And when I was there in New Zealand, I bought it in Borders, atop of Queen Street in Auckland, and I saw this guy, and he bought a girly magazine. And then he bought a copy of the New Zealand Herald, and he went off to pay for the newspaper and to pay for the book. for the magazine. And I thought, and he walked off down Queen Street looking like he's bought a newspaper when actually he's bought a magazine he doesn't want to be seen to be reading. So if you don't want to be seen to be reading the book, if you wish, I can give you another cover. This cover's called God, Gambling, Polemics and Chaos Theory, a heuristic and pragmatic approach to life and its meaning. So if you're reading the book, you think, God, he's clever, don't you think? Or if you don't want to be disturbed, let's say you're on a long flight somewhere and you want to read the book but you don't want to be disturbed, you want to be completely left alone, you can have this cover. Selling Life Insurance and Pensions. How to convert the unconvinced on the benefits of financial planning. Nobody will talk to you, will they, you know? So, do you think I'll ever get to play live with Ralph McTell? I don't know, but I'm going to enjoy the journey. Does anybody know Ralph McTell personally? I always ask, because one day I'm going to meet his next door neighbour, aren't I? You see, I don't want to persuade Ralph. A friend of mine, Pete, said, Phil, why don't you just pay him? What'd it cost, Phil? $3 grand, get him up to Harrogate, you and Dan, scratch your itch, fella, play Nana's song. I said, Pete, what do I do then? Do I go for Eric? Happiness is in the journey, it's not the destination. I don't want to persuade Ralph to, I want to influence him so he wants to. That's why I have a guitar everywhere I go. That's why I never ever play it. Because the next time I play this in public will be with Ralph McTell. You've got to have a dream, haven't you? I've changed the weather in February and I've written a best-selling book. I'd like to finish with a story that I told. Is my Amazon screen grab up there? Yeah, can I explain? It's a #1 bestseller, Amazon #1 bestseller. Outsold Stephen Gerrard. When you come from Manchester, that's great, that. I want to close by reading you a sentence from a book called The Power of Positive Thinking, which I saw in the bookshop. Over 15 million copies sold by Norman Vincent Peale, the international bestseller by the father of positive thinking. You do not need to be defeated by anything. You can have peace of mind, improved health, and a never-ceasing flow of energy. Your life can be full of joy and all that. 15 million copies sold. So there I am in New Zealand, and I want to close with this sentence. He wrote a preface, Norman, on the occasion of the printing of the 2 millionth copy. This is what he wrote. At the time I wrote this book, it never occurred to me that a 2 millionth copy anniversary would ever be observed. I imagine Norman back in 1953 tapping away on his old typewriter writing a book and his buddy coming by. Hello Norman, what you doing? I'm writing a book. Oh, very good. What's it about? It's about faith. It's about belief. It's about positive thinking. It's about you can achieve anything. Achieve anything at all, but you've got to think positively. Oh, very good. What are you thinking of calling it? Well, I'm thinking of calling it The Power of Positive Thinking. What do you think? Oh, strong title, Norman. I like that. Do you think it'll sell? No. You write a book called The Power of Positive Thinking, you don't think it'll sell. Let me leave you with these final thoughts. Start telling people what you like about them, particularly the ones that you love. Start telling people what you think they're really good at, particularly when there's other people around. Milk the sacred now, because happiness is in the journey. It's not the destination. And from time to time, do something crazy with custard. I've been Philip Hesketh, and you've been great. As my mother always taught me to say, thanks for having me. Thank you very much.